We're here with Bob Lilly. Just a few more questions today with Bob, and I appreciate your time so very much. What's your favorite hymn? Do you have a hymn that you just love?
Well, my mother's favorite hymn, and probably one of my favorites, is Amazing Grace. And I've heard that song sung by many good singers, and Throckmorton especially, and that's going to be one of my songs at my demise. That was one of Mother's top songs. I think it's mine too.
I always liked Amazing Grace and Abide With Me. And
there's other newer ones, and I like them, but I mean, you know what happens now is that you have these big, they have a big screen in the church, and so they project all these songs, and you don't really memorize them like we used to.
Yeah,
I used to have most of them I knew them.
Sure.
But now we sing newer songs. Some of them are different, but I love the old ones when we go back and do that. But I think I like the new ones as well. You know,
sure.
I like them too.
Absolutely.
But it's like, because it brings me back to my roots.
Absolutely. Yeah. I still hear the voices from the past when I was a child. I still hear the voices. There's one particular lady who we would sing a hymn, and if they had an alto lead, you could always hear Evelyn, no matter where you were sitting. It was a small building, beautiful. Everything was hardwood, tile, no padding anywhere. And Evelyn is still living. I love her, and her dad just love him to death. He sat me down one time and said, what are you going to be when I was 9? I said, I don't know. He says, you need to be a preacher like your daddy. So I still have this little Bible he gave me. But when you pass, you mentioned that, and that's one of the questions that I ask myself sometimes. When you pass, I guess our final question of the day, what do you want people to say about you? What do you want to be your overriding legacy? Because you're Mr. Cowboy. You're 11-time Pro Bowler. You're the only man to ever wear the 74 for the Cowboys. It's unofficially retired. I mean, I don't think they'll ever issue. But what do you want people to say is your legacy?
Well, I hadn't really thought about that, but I think I would like to hear my kids and my grandkids say that Granddad set a good example, a good Christian example, and a good work ethic example, and he had character and integrity, and he loved us.
Yeah, that's a life well lived, right there. A life well lived. Mr. Lilly, Bob, thank you so much. God bless you.
I do have one thing where I just happened to see it. If you don't mind, there's a Bible right there with a pen on it, and that was one of Mother's Bibles.
Oh wow!
And my sister was going through it, and she was keeping up with me. My mother, she wore these Bibles out, but this one, she had it in there. She was keeping Robert's height, and some of it torn off, but 208 pounds. I was 6'3.5", 55, and anyway, she kept my brother, and that's my sister, and then I'm sure, I don't know how she read it, but anyway, she almost wore it out. I've got several old Bibles from my grandmother's, and my mother's got a bigger one. It had all the stuff.
A family Bible.
Yeah, and anyway, I just thought it's funny that she kept up with our heights and our weights, and
mother loves her children.
Yep.
That's there's very little. Was it Abraham Lincoln said, "All I am and ever hope to be, I owe to my angel mother." Yeah. And moms do that.
They do, no question.
Thank you.